Well, home prices are up year over year in 85 of Ohio's 88 counties. At the same time, we have inventory levels of homes for sale. Those are up year over year in 81 of Ohio's 88 counties. So what does this really mean as we head into summer 2025 for the Ohio housing market? That's what we're going to look at today on the Ohio Housing Nerd channel. Hey, my name is Jason Ferrier. Welcome to the Ohio Housing Nerd. If you're new here, which you probably are because I don't have any subscribers yet on this channel, my name is Jason Ferrier. I am a realtor. I'm an investor in Central Ohio. I've been doing it now for 7.5 years. Thanks for joining me on the first video of the Ohio Housing Nerd. Now, I have another channel, actually called the Housing Nerd, not the Ohio Housing Nerd, just the Housing Nerd channel. And I've been doing videos on that channel now for probably a couple years. And I thought, you know what? This makes sense to start a channel dedicated just to the state of Ohio because I get a lot of requests for Ohio local data. And I thought, you know what? It probably makes sense to do this and break this out and have a channel dedicated only to the Ohio housing market. And that's why I did this. So welcome, and we'll get started now. Today, what I'm going to do is look at the latest Redfin data. I think this will kind of give us a guide as to what's happening in the Ohio housing market. And if you have a suggestion on what you'd like to see on the Housing Nerd or the Ohio Housing Nerd channel, let me know in the comments below. All right, so let's look at some major cities in in Ohio, and see what we can find. First one we'll look at is Columbus, Ohio, because that's where I live or near it. So I'm going to the Redfin data center now, and we'll take a look at this. So new listings in Columbus, Ohio, the number of homes actually hitting the market in Columbus. And by the way, if you have a metro, a city that you want me to look at in Ohio, I'm happy to do it. And it can be a county or a metro. I think, and I have some pretty detailed information on the different areas of Ohio. So if you have a metro you want me to analyze, put it in the comments below, even if it's on the replay, and I'm happy to do it. All right, so year over year, new listings in Columbus, Ohio, up 0.8%. And this is fresh data, folks, from Redfin. I mean, this data was just updated today, actually. And you're kind of getting a sneak preview because I'll do a complete review of the national housing market on the regular Housing Nerd channel tomorrow. I'll do that live. But this one is only Ohio, of course. So 0.8% up year over year in new listings. So we have a little more new listings, like just a few compared to where we normally are this time of year. I'm sorry, compared to last year, but not a ton more. Let's look at active listings now in Columbus. How many homes are for sale? 5,851. That's up 15% year over year. It's up, but it's not an explosion of inventory. However, I'll tell you, there are areas of the state where inventory is up over 100% year over year. I'll show you that in a minute. So that's active listings in Columbus. Now let's look at pending sales. In other words, the demand, how many houses are actually going into contract, down 2.1%. It's amazing that through this period of time, which is typically a busy period of time for realtors like me in the housing market, we're seeing not as many homes for sale. We're actually seeing, not as many people buying homes. It's shocking, to say the least. But comment, let me know what you think. All right, so pending sales are there. Now, let's do median sale price. Look at median sale price, $342,000 for Columbus. It started the year back at $325,000, and it's kind of seesawed a little bit, but our trajectory's up. So home prices in Columbus, overall, the median price is up 2.8%, hasn't really, fallen that much. Like a lot of other areas of the country are starting to soften with home prices. We're not seeing that in Columbus. like I said at the beginning, only 3 counties total in Ohio of the 88 counties are down in median sale price year over year. Crazy. So we did Columbus. Now let's do Cleveland. Cleveland, Ohio, $245,000 is the median sale price. That's up 5.7, call it 6%. So prices are still up. Let's look at new listings in Cleveland. New listings up 5.4%. They need the new listings in Cleveland. It's just not great as far as the inventory goes. Up 6.4% for active inventory. How many homes are actually for sale? It's up, it is up. It's not enough. It's not really up enough though. The people in Cleveland will tell you that. Not enough homes for sale, no doubt about it. And this is like the metro area for Cleveland. That's really what this looks at in these cities I'm looking at. They're not, this isn't specific to the actual metro, even though it does say metro on the drop down. It's more of the MLS area. So this probably covers Cuyahoga County and the surrounding counties. All right, so that's active listings. Let's go to pending sales. I don't think I did that yet for Cleveland. Pending sales in Cleveland, Ohio, down 0.8%. So sales are lower in Cleveland and Columbus. Interesting. All right. And we know prices are up in Cleveland and Columbus. Let's do Cincinnati. New listings in Cincinnati, Ohio, up 3%. That's it. I mean, the market's locked up in Ohio. It just is. Like, I really thought we would see more inventory hit the market this spring, but it's not happening. Sellers aren't selling, buyers aren't buying. It's a frozen market in at least so far what I'm looking at in Columbus, Cleveland, and Cincinnati. Active inventory. Yeah, look at this in Cincinnati. It's only up, what's that, 9%? Yeah, about 9%. Again, thought there'd be much more active inventory. I look at pending sales. We looked at pending sales. Now let's do median sale price. $311,000, up 4.8, call it 5%. This is an all-time high, folks. It's an all-time high for median sale price in Cincinnati. Unreal. Unbelievable. Like, prices just continue to go up in most areas of Ohio. It's just crazy. All right, so we looked at that. Now, let me show you a couple other metros here. I get a lot of requests for Toledo. So we'll look at Toledo. Then we're going to look at some county level data too. So new listings for Toledo, Ohio. Got the dog out there. My dog's running around. New listings down 13% in Toledo. I mean, you know what? Before I do that, I'm going to go back. I apologize, folks. I'm going to go back because this is only Ohio. So I'm getting used to this, just doing Ohio only. I'm going to go back to Columbus and look at a couple other metrics. So apologize for the U-turn, but I'm going to look at this. Price drops in Columbus. We're going to go back to Columbus, Cleveland, Cincinnati, look at price drops. Then I'll go to Toledo. I'll do Akron probably. I may do, I'll do Akron, Toledo, may do Canton if that's in there. Yeah, I'll do those major areas. So year over year, price drops in Columbus. 6.4% of all homes had a price drop. That continues to go up. A lot of inventory on the market that's just dead, sitting there, not moving. And there's inventory that's moving, but probably a lot of dead inventory that just needs a price cut. Let's look at median days on market. Median days on market in Columbus, Ohio, 37 days, up 3.8 days. Homes are sitting longer, but way back early in the year, I thought we were in trouble. I mean, homes were up 12 days year over year as far as how long they were sitting on the market. And that number just plummeted. I mean, it plummeted big time. Now, barely up, just 3.88 days. So I'm surprised by that. I am. Let me look at months of supply. So months of supply or weeks of supply is how Redfin calculates it. 11.3. I mean, that's up 2.3 weeks year over year. I mean, we almost have 3 months of supply, right? Because you've got 11 weeks, so 12 weeks would be 3 months of supply. That number is kind of going down now. I mean, it trended up fast at the beginning of the year, then went down significantly. So the market is kind of like in this stalemate where you just don't have a lot of people listing. You don't have a lot of people buying. Yeah, I mean, until something happens with prices here in Columbus or something happens with interest rates, I would assume that this lock-in effect is going to continue where people are like, I'm not going to sell my home. Like, I'm not going to put it on the market unless I need to. And I think a lot of people have been hoping, wishing, and praying and wanting for some type of housing crash. Well, in Columbus, you can see the numbers right on the screen in front of you. Like, the market's not moving. And oddly enough, the higher interest rates have kept home prices from crashing in a way because there's no price discovery at all, because there's nothing listed on the market hardly. Even though we have, you know, as some accounts, 30% more inventory in Columbus, in the central Ohio area, it's not really making the market move at all. It's kind of letting it just go sideways. You can see in the weeks of supply. So pretty interesting. Now let me go back to Cleveland and look at the same metrics here. And if you have a market you want me to look at, put it in the comments, even if it's on the replay. Weeks of supply in Cleveland, Ohio, 9.7. So they're way under 3, right? They're at 2, barely over 2 months of supply, meaning if we didn't, you know, add any more inventory to the market, all the inventory in Cleveland would be gone in a little over 2 months. It's just, it's crazy. It's crazy that we're not adding more inventory, any good inventory, I guess. Otherwise, you'd see weeks of supply increase. Let me look at price drops. That chart's crazy in Cleveland. Look at the price drops. 6.9% of all homes in the last 4 weeks have had a price drop in Cleveland. That's up 2%. Not 2% as most people would think about it. It's 2%, meaning last year that was actually at 4.9%. So it is up substantially. I just think you have a lot of homes on the market that are overpriced. They're not moving, so people are cutting the price, but they're not need to sell people. They're more want to sell people. You're not seeing a lot of distressed selling in Columbus yet. You're just not. I'm sorry, in Cleveland. Let me look at Cincinnati now. Go back here and look. Percent of active listings with a price drop, 5.3%. It's kind of gone sideways all year. And by the way, it is only up 1.2% year over year. So again, not a lot of distress in Cincinnati. Let me look at, I looked at that already. Let me look at months of supply in Cincinnati. 1.7 up year over year to 10.9 weeks, which is basically under 3 months. It is up slightly, but it's not skyrocketing at all, meaning homes are coming on the market, but they're also being purchased, not at an insane rate, but it's keeping that weeks of supply, months of supply, however you want to look at it, it's keeping that relatively stable. Okay, so that was that. Now let's go to some other areas. Let me look at Toledo. Get a lot of people from Toledo wanting to know what's going on. So here you go. Look at this. We looked at this before. New listings down 13% in Toledo. What? How's that possible? People just not listing their homes there. They're like, nope. It's a 4-year low, by the way. A 4-year low. Huh. That's nuts. I mean, I can't believe it. I keep staring at it going, is that going to change? That's nuts. Toledo, what's going on with pending sales? 16.8% up year over year. A lot more buyers, but no sellers. I'd expect inventory then to show a big drop or start a drop. Yeah, look at that drop starting. Well, it was going up big time. Look at active listings in Toledo were up 7.29%. Now at one point they were up 9%. Here they were up 10%. But now they're going down again. No hope in Toledo at all. If you're looking for a house in Toledo, I would guess the pickings are very slim, especially good homes. I got to think that's like impossible to find. I actually looked at an apartment complex a year or so ago in Toledo to buy near downtown, but it needed a ton of work, ton of maintenance, ton of deferred maintenance, and the price didn't make any sense. But maybe I should throw some more lines in the water in Toledo. Something's going on up there. That market's hot, it looks like. Price drops. What's up with the price drops? Yeah, look at active listings with price drops, though. 4.4%, not near where Central Ohio is, Cleveland or Cincinnati, but it's going straight up almost. So more price cuts. I'm guessing, again, the few houses that are listed, a lot of them are probably big homes, maybe expensive homes perhaps, or homes that need a ton of work. And people are like, you know what, we're cutting the price. And they keep cutting it and cutting it and cutting it. But if there's not a lot of new listings, you can assume in normal situations that there's not a lot of distress, that people don't need to sell. Otherwise, you would see a lot more new listings. Let's do weeks of supply. How's that? 13.1 up 2.9 weeks year over year. So they have 3 weeks of supply. I'm sorry, 3 months of supply, 3+ months of supply, actually. And so this months of supply thing can be a little deceiving because you got to look at what's listed. If it's affordable homes that most people can just afford or buy, like in, let's look in Toledo, what's the median sale price? Median sale price in Toledo, Ohio is $224,000. It's an all-time high. Just like Cincinnati, it's an all-time high. Wow. If you found a home, if you're looking at homes in the 200,000 to 250 range, I'm guessing move-in ready or basically move-in ready, even if they need, updated, but they're, at least safe to live in, I would guess those are in short supply, whereas higher price homes are probably the ones on the market that are sitting there getting the price cuts. That's why weeks of supply or months of supply is going up, even though active listings are not going up. There's not a lot of great inventory, probably. That's my guess. One of the things I'm going to do with this channel, with this new Housing Nerd channel, is I'm going to go to areas like Toledo. Obviously, I live near Columbus, so I'm going to hit Columbus, hit Cincinnati, hit Cleveland, kind of go around the state and do some, boots on the ground type work to figure out what's happening in these local markets. Now, obviously, I could do that in other states, and eventually maybe that'll come on the regular Housing Nerd channel. But for now, I'll probably just do a lot of that here in Ohio. Anyway, that's what's planned. So median sale price, record high in Toledo. I mean, what are you going to do? It's not sustainable. I mean, like, seriously, like, look back at the history of these prices. Back in 2000, the beginning of 2023, look at that. Median price is $155,000. Now, to somebody where home prices are $800,000, $155 to $220, that's not a big, like $70,000's nothing. If your house prices, if you're out in LA or something, or San Diego, it's not that big of a deal. But if you are in Toledo, Ohio, and you're used to $155,000 prices, and now the median price is $224, that's a big increase. Oh, hold on 1 minute. I got to let the dog in. Hold on. Come on. All right, I'm back. The dog wanted in the porch. Okay, so yeah, so let's look back here at 2022. The end of 2021 into 2022, 158. And then it kept going and actually dropped that year and ended up 154. Look at 2023. It started at 167 grand. No, beginning of 2024. Started at 167 grand and it peaked. It looked like it peaked at 223. That was the high, the record high back in last year, back in August. And now 224. So it surpassed the record high. It's just, it's off the hook. The prices in Ohio just don't stop. I mean, when I looked by county, if you average the county growth in Ohio in the last since 2020, prices are up 67. I believe it's 67% off the top of my head. 67%. Nuts. All right, so that's Toledo. Let me look at, you know, we didn't look at here is average sale to list price ratio. I mean, what's that going to show us? Well, it's under 100. I can't believe it. So 99.7, 99.4. So basically sellers are getting 99% of the final list price. Not the original list, final list. All right, that's Toledo. Now let's do Akron. Akron, Ohio. Do I have anybody on yet? No. Nobody watching yet. Huh. Like I'm used to at this point with the Housing Nerd channel, I'm used to like there's like 100 people on sometimes at one time. But right now, 0, which is okay. Just started this channel today, so I'm sure we'll grow. New listings in Akron, Ohio, 6.4% up year over year. So a few more new listings, but not a ton. Pending sales, what are those doing? Those are up 16%. So people are buying homes in Akron. Active listings, look at this, down like Toledo, going down 17% up. Call it 18% up year over year. Median days on market, how long are homes sitting there? Wow, look at that. 20 days. 20 days is the median days on market in Akron. And people are buying. People are buying. Price drops. What about those? How are those doing? 7% of all listings had a price drop in the last 4 weeks. Okay. So like the other areas, people are cutting the price. Again, probably a lot of overpriced inventory. Median sale price. Look at this. 238 grand. Not a record high yet. The record is 247 back last year in Akron. Okay. We're going to look at some, I did get some requests earlier on my other channel. So I'm going to look at those requests. Some people wanted to see certain areas. I got Youngstown, Struthers, Boardman, Poland area. Okay, well, let me do Youngstown. Let me see what this shows there. Youngstown, Ohio. New listings. What do we got? In Youngstown, Ohio. 147 new listings, up 13% year over year. Not a 4-year high yet. Pending sales. What's going on with pending sales? 15.3% up. So people are listing and they are buying in Youngstown. more so than last year. By no means is this normal, though. Still way down compared to most years historically in activity. Active inventory, what do we got? Active listings. It's going sideways now. It's not going up anymore, but 17% up, call it 18% up. It's a 4-year high for this time of year, but doesn't mean a whole lot probably when you look at the historical trend of active inventory. Price drops in Youngstown. 5.8% of all listings had a price drop in the last 4 weeks. Now, median sale price, $177,000. That's a pretty affordable area. Up 5.7% year over year. So it's not a 4-year high, but it's not crashing there either. It's definitely not crashing. I mean, look back last summer. Holy Toledo. Well, holy Youngstown. Up it's $190,000 then. That was up 28% year over year at that point. I mean, wow. So we got a ways to go in Youngstown to hit the record price, but it's not crashing either. Okay, so that's Youngstown. Now, what I want to do is switch to a county level look. I'm going to show you some areas that are growing substantially with various metrics. So this is Muskingum County, Ohio. Muskingum County is maybe 40 minutes east of Columbus. There's a city there called Zanesville. Not a huge market by any means, but it's a market that has grown substantially in the prices. I own some rental properties there, and a lot of history in the town. But look at new listings, up 9.2%. That's not a huge deal. I'm expecting, though, to see active inventory. Yeah, look at active inventory there. Look at this. Like this is off the chart for Zanesville, Muskingum County. 30. I mean, the chart looks odd on the screen just because of how much it's up. 35% is where it started at the beginning of the year, up year over year in active inventory. Look at the active inventory now, 46% up year over year, 46%, a lot more active inventory in Muskingum County. I wonder what's driving that. It's pretty shocking. What about pending sales? Pending sales up 4%. We looked at new listings. I mean, there must be like a glut. I mean, there's only 238 active listings, but still up 46%. Wow. Yeah, I saw that in the data and was like, yeah, I got a hit on Muskingum County. So that's pretty shocking. What's median sale price? $268,000. Wow, that's expensive. I can't believe how expensive it is. That's up 13%, call it 14% year over year. It's an all-time high by far, like record high, way record high. Up 14%, just unreal. $268,000 for Muskingum County. I can't believe it. All right, let's look at, let's look at this. Median days on market. 53 days. Up 6 days year over year. At one point, look, at one point it's 86 days. Homes are just like sitting there. Like it looks like there's a lot of dead inventory, even though prices are up a lot. Again, I'm guessing not a lot of great move-in inventory. I mean, the housing markets are only going to be able to hold what people can afford, unless there's a lot of migration in, right? Well, Muskingum County is not, Dallas, Texas. You're not going to have a ton of migration in there. So the prices, I'm guessing these are just expensive homes that are sitting on the market. Because when one sells, remember median's in the middle, That's how the sale price, median sale price, can be $268,000 because that one in the middle is the median. So you've got some probably houses, the ones that are selling are probably expensive. There's probably not a lot of affordable inventory there. Wow. Huh. I did not expect to see that. Okay. Let's look at months of supply, see what we can find. Months of supply. What's up? Months of supply. 14 weeks of supply, which is almost 4 months. And it's going up. So I would have to think, well, let me look at this real quick before I say that. Let me look at median. I rarely look at the new listing median price, but let me look at it. I mean, the new listing median price is 221, meaning the house, if you take all the listings over the last 4 weeks and put the one in the middle, that price of the newly listed house is 221, which to me seems too expensive for the people in that market, for the folks in that market. I mean, you know, that based on the employment there, as far as I can tell. But look back, earlier it was 269. So I have to watch the pricing there big time, you know, closely, because I can't believe it's up that much. I can't believe median sale price is up that much. It's $268,000. It's crazy. Huh. Okay, let's look at a couple more, a few more here. Knox County. Knox County, Ohio. Median sale price. $291. And if you're from Central Ohio and you know anything about Knox County, that would shock you. It should. $291,000. It's not an all-time high, by the way. I actually have a few listings in Knox County and Mount Vernon. That's the, I guess, the major town there, if you want to call it a major town. I own some rental properties there too. And I can't believe how expensive things are there. It's down 7% year over year. Feels like we've hit the top of the price point, you'd think. New listings. What's going on in Knox County with new listings? Up 15% year over year. At one point, we were up 94% in Knox County. What? Probably a lot of properties, I think, that are that have land with them, like 5 acres, 10 acres. And those are going to be expensive. And, you know, not a lot of people are willing to, you know, maybe move up into that expensive home right now. Not a lot of affordable inventory. That's pending sales. Let's do active inventory. Look at this. Just like Muskingum County. What in the world? What in the world? Hey, I got a thumbs up from somebody on Facebook. Thank you. Somebody's watching this. Don't know who they are on Facebook, but hey, if you're watching this on Facebook, you should join us on YouTube. Active inventory, 230 active listings, up 41% in Knox County. A lot more active listings, a lot more. Median days on market, 43 days, down 5 days year over year. Price drop, 7.4. It's going straight up. Straight up. I know from personal experience, I actually listed a house, several houses in Mount Vernon, which is in Knox County, over the past few months. And, you know, if they're priced right around the $200,000 mark, they're going to move fast, generally speaking. If you creep past that $200,000 mark too much, that's when you get into trouble, unless the property has something to offer that, you know, that's unique, or unless it's super, super nice or has a really nice yard, you know, big garages, stuff like that. But if it's like a house in Mount Vernon in town, or if it's, you know, even just on the outskirts of town, if it's not priced right, it will sit and you will have to cut the price probably. And that's what we're seeing. I wonder, here's what I think. I just thought of this. I wonder in Knox County if it's, well, Well, I'm not gonna be able to look at that on here. There's an area though of Knox County where it's like a lake area, kind of like a resort. It's called Apple Valley, and I've heard there's a lot of dead inventory in that area. That could be what's driving the the active listing count and the percent of listings with a price drop. Let's do months of supply there and see what we see. 14 weeks of supply, which is just under 4 months. But this isn't by far an all-time high, or in the last 4 years. So a little bit of a mystery there. But active listings are insane. I wish this broke it down by price point. I mean, Redfin's not going to be able to do that, but it'd be nice if it did. Moving forward, I'll bring a lot more MLS data to the table on these Ohio reviews because I have access to the local MLS. So I'll use the MLS for a lot more of this. But on this first video, I just wanted to use Redfin because it was the simplest to use. The graphs are great. Okay, so let's go to, let me look at my list here. Wow, let me, jeez. I'm going to go back. Let's see. Cyrus counties. Let me see. Bear with me. 1 month change, 1 year change. Let me do Franklin County. We did Columbus, but let me do Franklin County. Oh, you know what? Crawford. I'm going to do Crawford County. Crawford County, Ohio. Active listings up 27% year over year. Okay. About new listings. New listings down 9%. Pending sales in Crawford County, Ohio, up 17% for pending sales. So people are buying there. And there are more homes for sale, which is good. Median sale price, what's that? $168,000, up 19% year over year. It's not an all-time high. Last year, Crawford County peaked at $193,000. Now $168,000. Huh. Okay. That's Crawford County. Let me look at my list and see what else was requested. Let's do... Let's do Delaware County next. There's really no rhyme or reason to my madness here as far as going by county. Delaware County, Ohio. What do I got? New listings in Delaware County. One of the more wealthy counties of Ohio. 31 days, I'm sorry, new listing. 31 new listings, down 40% year over year. I mean, there's not that many new listings, so it's hard to, really gauge it. But not a lot of people listing homes, that's for sure. Pending sales, way down. Look at that, way down. Only 30 pending sales, down 37% year over year. Nobody buying, no one selling. Active inventory, what's that doing? Look at active listings, down 14%. Jeez. Surprising. I'm surprised there's not more active listings. Median sale price. Look at that. Wait, straight up. $526,000. That's an all-time high. 523 used to be the record. Now they beat it. 526 for Delaware County, Ohio. So you can see like Franklin County or Central Ohio in general is like 350, 340 around that area is the record. But Delaware County, just north of Columbus, the capital, 526. Good gracious. All right. Let me do Licking County, Ohio. That's where I live, actually, is Licking County. Licking County, Ohio. Wow. New listings in Licking County down 10.6%. Yeah, I really thought we would see more active inventory, but I just helped some folks look for a house in Central Ohio in the, $200,000 price range. Very tough to find, even in Newark. Active listings in Licking County, only up 11%. Only up 11%. And when you only have 593 active listings, that's not a lot, right? I mean, that's a difference of what? What's that? 60 listings? That's it. 60 listings. That's the difference year over year. So it's not like places in Florida, Texas, Louisiana, Denver. Denver's seen a massive explosion of listings. Not like that here. It's not. Let's do median sale price. In Licking County, Ohio, $334. Not an all-time high. We actually peaked this year on an all-time high of $357 in Licking County. By the way, Licking County is home of the new Intel project, the Gigafactory that they're building. It's just like 10 minutes from here. 357. That's the record. Now we're at 334. You can see it's kind of up and down, but I'm not going to, it's not going to crash anytime soon. There's no inventory. Let's look at median days on market. What's that doing? Oops. 40 days. That's up 5 days year over year. So it's a 4-year high, but you can see where it's went to this year. It's 68 days. Probably when inventory went up a lot too, right? Where did inventory go up? Yeah, inventory started to go up, so days on market's going to obviously go up because there's more inventory in the market. Let's go back to this price thing for a second. Median sale price. So one of the things you should pay attention to is back in 2022, a lot of markets peaked. Like a lot of markets across the country peaked in 2022, but we didn't see that here in Ohio. Like a lot of areas continued to go up after that. And Licking County is no exception. Okay, let's do, let me see. Let me get another one here. Let's do Fairfield County, Ohio. That's a big one too. New listings in Fairfield County, Ohio. What do we got? Up 8%, kind of anemic, nothing special. Active inventory. It's a 4-year high right now, but barely up at all. Like basically flat. Basically flat. Pending sales in Fairfield County. What do we got? Down 11%. Well, people definitely aren't buying. Okay. Median sale price. 351, up 3%. So there's not a lot of active inventory compared to last year. Not a lot of new listings. People aren't buying. It looks like overall, probably not a lot of great inventory. I mean, it's going to take, people are like, hey, is the housing market going to crash in Ohio? Or, when are prices going to come down? Well, you need a lot more inventory, folks, to cause some type of price problem, because homes are affordable compared to most areas of the U.S. They're not affordable for a lot of locals. But a lot of people, you can tell, I mean, think about it. In Fairfield County, somebody bought back in 2000 and beginning of 2023, they were paying $282 for a house, right? At one point in 2022, it got down to $266. Well, before that, it was under probably $200,000, several years before that. So if you think about it and go, well, somebody bought their house at 190 grand, let's call it, and they had a 4% interest rate. Why in the world would that now they pay, 351 with a 7-handle interest rate. They wouldn't. So they're not going to sell it. They're just going to sit there. They're just going to sit there on the market, or they're just going to sit there in their house and not sell. And so that home never hits the market, and they're not buying that next one. So the prices in the market are just locked up. For us to see some type of price correction, we have to see a lot more inventory. We're not seeing it. We're just not. And to see that, I think you either have to have a lot of new building, or you've got to have interest rates lower or prices lower. But to get prices lower, you've got to have more inventory. To get more inventory, you're going to have new building or interest rates lower, so people put their existing house on the market and go buy that better, the better one, the bigger one, the nicer one. But if rates drop, then they put them on the market, then first-time buyers are going to scoop them up, or investors. So that's Ohio is for the conceivable future. It doesn't seem like prices are going to crash, honestly. Like it doesn't seem like it in the areas we reviewed so far. However, an area like Knox County or Muskingum County, you may see price corrections because inventory is going up so much. So you could see some price corrections there, depending on what the inventory mix is like. But in central Ohio, like Fairfield, Delaware, Franklin County, Columbus, even in Cleveland and Cincinnati, those major areas, it's just everything's locked. Very tough. And I would expect home prices to steadily probably climb at a smaller rate than they have been over the last few years, but they're still going to climb. Wow. Okay, that's Fairfield County. Let me do, go back to this list. Okay, let me do the next one here. Let me do Richland County. Richland County is Mansfield. Mansfield, Ohio. Down 4.9% in new listings. Surprised. I thought we'd have a lot more. Active listings, look at that. Only 3.94% up in active listings in Richland County. Wow. I thought it'd be a lot higher. Median sale price, $194,000, up 4% year over year. Let me do this. There's a city in Richland County, which is Mansfield. Let me look at just Mansfield, because I do own some property there, and we're going to see what we see there. New listings in Mansfield. Down 4.9%. What? Active listings in Mansfield. Oh, they must be calling the Mansfield metro area must be just like Richland County, because it's the same number. Doesn't make any sense. Median sale price, what's that show? $194,000. Probably gonna have to use some other data to find this. I'll have to do it next time. I have to find some other data, because this data looks like it's duplicated from Richland County data. Okay, that's not helping me. All right, that was a fail. Okay, let me do this now. So in Redfin, what you can do is actually go to the data center, but you can also go to investor data. I wanted to do this. I wanted to go to the investor data section and show you the share of investors in Ohio. Oops, that's too big. So this is the percentage of sales that went to an investor as the buyer. In quarter one, 2025, it's 17% for Columbus. So there were basically 4,200 home sales. You can see that down at the bottom, and 702 went to investors. Now, the peak was actually 2022 25% of the market was going to investors, a quarter of the market. That's a lot. Now let's look at the growth of investors in Columbus. Down 13% year over year in investor purchases. So less or fewer investors are buying homes. As far as the growth goes, the growth isn't as high. But look at the growth there, 79% back in 2021 quarter three. And this is investor share by market category. This is kind of interesting, right? The problem is I forgot about that. They don't break it out by market. That's annoying. So I can't show you by market. I wish I could. So this is for all types of residential properties: condos, townhomes, single family houses, duplexes, triplexes, quads. That's all for in this graph. So pretty interesting stuff. Let me go back to this real quick. You know what? Since somebody's watching this live, I'm going to do this and show you this map I made. Okay, check this out. So this is the 1 year price change by county. Maybe I should have started with this. Next time I probably will. So blue is good, red is bad. So if you look at this, you can tell there's just 3 counties down year over year in prices. And it just thought it would show us the county name, but it's not. So hold on a second. All right. All right. So this map shows the inventory change. In other words, how much inventory growth or decline have they had in the last year, year over year. So you can see here, there's some areas like Muskingum County, according to Realtor.com data, Muskingum County is up 101% year over year in active inventory. Crawford County up 100%, Clark County up 93%, Ross County up 89%, Knox County 82%. So big growth in inventory in some of these areas. I mean, there's a few areas that are down, but not many, right? You've got Sandusky County is down 4.17%, Van Wert County down 19%, Columbiana County 8.28%, Claremont County down 11.43%, Lawrence County down 4%, but most of them are up. Some of them are up a ton in inventory. And then you've got this Ohio home prices. This is just for the prices. And I don't have the counties in here labeled, unfortunately. So it's not too helpful for me because I don't have these memorized. But you can see there's a lot of blue still. So Ashtabula County up here, 8% up year over year in prices. And they're up 25%. If I look at the inventory, Ashtabula County is up 25% in inventory. Let me go to, so Knox County, 82% up in total inventory of homes for sale. And then if I look at Knox County, up 5% in home prices year over year. Yeah, so prices are sticky, folks. Doesn't seem like they're going to come down. It really doesn't. It seems like at the end of the day, Ohio home prices are where they are for right now, probably going to continue to go up slightly. If they cut interest rates too much, then you may see more inventory hit the market, but I would expect prices to and demand to eat that up. And I I really don't know if there's another solution for that. And, you know, right now they're thinking about repealing property taxes. That's going through right now, or it's trying to make its way through the signatures to put it on the ballot in November. If they repeal property tax in Ohio, you're going to see, I think, prices go up, because the average person is going to be able to look at a payment and go, hey, that's $2,500, or was $2,500. Now it's $2,000 a month. I can afford more home. And so the prices are going to go up because people are going to afford more. People buy on payment normally, even if they shouldn't, they do. So if they repeal property taxes, I don't think that's going to be great for the housing market from a price standpoint. And they're just going to tax us somewhere else, right? They're going to have to fund that money somewhere. So anyway, that's what I think is going on. Hey, I hope this was helpful. If you can subscribe to the Ohio Housing Nerd, and drop your city in the comments below, or what you want me to look at in Ohio, and I'm happy to do it. Okay, I'm the Housing Nerd. Thanks for joining me tonight. I am out. OUT out.